Today I'm going to explain a romance comedy movie released in 2009, named, He's Just Not That Into You. Before starting the film, make sure to like and subscribe my channel for more movie recaps. The film opens with a female voiceover, saying that a girl never forgets the first guy she likes. As she speaks, we see the boy pushing and abusing the little girl. When she tells her mom what happened, her mom just tells her that the boy did that because he likes her. We then see two women giving each other excuses why a guy isn't calling them back before the voiceover complains that they need to accept that, and maybe he just isn't that into them. The film then fades to a date between Gigi and Connor. At the end of the date, they part ways, and Connor pulls out his phone and begins calling someone while walking away from Gigi. Gigi calls her friends and tells her how good the date went, and even says that she thinks Connor is calling her right now. We see that Connor is actually calling another girl named Anna. As she grocery shops, Anna is clearly not that interested in Connor, and tells him that she'll call him back. As she gets in line, a man named Ben offers for her to go ahead of him while checking out. She ends up winning a giveaway. Anna is super excited, and hugs Ben, thanking him. Back to Connor, he gets to his apartment after the date, and meets his friend, Alex. He tells Alex that his date was wonderful, and decides to call Anna back. Alex tries to convince him not to call her, because she isn't interested in him. As he calls, we see Anna talking with Ben outside the grocery store, and she declines his call. Anna is telling Ben about how she wants to be a famous musician, and he tells her that he knows a guy at his work who could help her. Anna is overjoyed, and gives him her number before Ben tells her that he's married, and he can't do this. But Anna insists that he is just helping her with her singing career, and she takes his business card. We then see Ben's friend, Neil, arriving at the apartment. He shares stories about his girlfriend of 7 years, Beth. They talk about how Beth's sister is getting married, and Beth asks Neil if they'll ever get married. Neil tells her that they shouldn't have to pay for a piece of $45 paper that proves he loves her, when he shows he loves her every day, and Beth is clearly upset by this. The film then cuts back to Gigi, who's talking to her friend Janine in her apartment that is being renovated. While Janine talks, Gigi keeps checking her phone, and Janine tells her to stop before the screen goes black. And we see text, stating that if a man isn't calling you, it means he's just not that into you. A woman who obviously had a little too much to drink sits at a table, and explains the caller ID is bad because it makes it harder for her to pester the men she dates. Desperate for a call from Connor, Gigi answers her phone in the shower, and is irritated when she finds out it's her mom, telling her that she'll call back later. We then see that Beth, Janine and Gigi all work for a magazine. Gigi and Janine discuss her date with Connor, and Janine tries to be encouraging about Connor not calling her back. Gigi is desperate, and considers staging a meetup with Connor at a bar she knows he goes to, but instead of going full stalker, Janine convinces Gigi that she should call, and leave a voicemail for Connor. After leaving a message and not hearing back, Gigi decides to go full stalker, and heads to the bar she knows Connor likes. We see that Connor's friend Alex is the manager of the bar, and a waitress named Kelly. Anna approaches him, and talks about how much she enjoyed a night they spent together. Alex politely rejects her, and tells her that they're just co-workers. Gigi then shows up and heads to the bar to look for Connor. While there, she talks with Alex, who realizes that Gigi is waiting for his friend. He offers to call Connor, and tell him that Gigi is waiting, but Gigi tells him not to before eventually admitting that Connor hadn't called her back after their date, and she was hoping to run into him. Alex tells Gigi that if a guy doesn't call back, then it means he's not into her, and that anecdotal examples of happy couples that go against this rule are the exceptions. After a long night of talking with Alex, Gigi has an epiphany and talks to Beth and Janine about how she's the rule, but not the exception. The film then cuts to Anna, who is out with her friend, Mary. She tells her how she's into Ben, but he's married. Mary tells Anna a story about a couple who got divorced because the husband fell in love with another woman. So Anna decides to pursue Ben despite he is married. She calls Ben, but he tells her that he can't help her with her career. Upset, Anna calls Connor, and the two flirt. However, she leaves right after getting showered, and compliments by him. Beth comes home to Neil and is at her breaking point. She tells him that she won't be happy unless they get married. Neil refuses to marry, so the two split up, and Neil goes to live on his boat like before. Then we again see a text about if a man won't marry you, and two women talk about how good men are at dumping you without you even realizing it. We see Ben in his apartment, and he calls Anna back and promises to help her. His wife then walks in, and we see it's actually Janine, and she questions if he started smoking again. Ben denies it, saying no. We then see Gigi and Janine out on a double date, and it seems like Gigi is hitting it off with her date. However, when he leaves, he won't tell Gigi if he'll call her back. We then see Mary at her job at an advertising agency. She talks to her coworkers about how she's trying to find a guy to date through MySpace. Her coworkers tell her that's a bad idea. She then calls Connor, and talks about some new ads he wants to do. We then see Beth with her sister and some friends, as they try on bridesmaid dresses the girls try, and cheer Beth up about breaking up with Neil. We then see Anna in Ben's office, and she tells him that she's attracted to him. He admits that he's also attracted to her, and tells her about how he only got married to Janine, because she gave him an ultimatum. Janine heads to their home and finds an ashtray with some cigarettes which she assumes is Ben's. We then see Gigi calling Alex, and asking for guy advice with her last date. Alex is upfront, and tells Gigi that the guy doesn't like her, and that if a man wants to date a girl he'll make it happen. Alex arrives home and talks with Connor about his weird relationship with Anna, since the two are basically dating except Anna won't sleep with him. The film then cuts to Anna herself, teaching a yoga class that Ben is attending. The two say that they're going to just be friends, but Anna quickly makes their relationship close to bed. When Ben arrives home, Janine confronts him about the cigarettes, but he promises her that they aren't his, and says that they probably came from the construction workers. Back to Gigi, we see her making out with a guy she's on a date with. He tells her that he's going to be out of touch for a bit while he's away on a trip. Gigi panics and goes into the bathroom, where she calls Alex for advice. Alex answers despite currently making out with a woman, and tells Gigi that she should ditch the guy, because he obviously isn't interested. Ben hangs out with Neil on his boat. Ben talks about how lucky he is that he isn't married, so he doesn't have to miss out on being with other women. Ben says he doesn't care about other women, he just wants Beth back. Gigi is invited to a double date with Alex. However, he tells her that he accidentally got dates mixed up with his friend, so it'll just be the two of them. Janine questions her foreman about if any of the workers are smoking, and he tells her that none of them smoke on site. Connor hosts an open house, and gets advice from some guys about what to do with Anna. Then we get an anecdote from a guy, talking about how if a girl won't sleep with you after a couple of weeks, then she's just not into you. We then see Anna and Ben having sex. Later Anna talks with Mary about how she thinks Ben is going to leave Janine for her. Gigi gets invited to a party by Alex, and thinks he's into her, so she gets advice from Janine. Ben and Janine go to shopping there. Janine makes it clear she thinks Ben is lying to her about something. Ben confesses to sleeping with Anna, and she's upset, but tells him that they'll work through it. Beth goes to her sister's wedding, and is clearly miserable the whole time, and is forced to walk down the aisle with a dog. Gigi goes to Alex's party, and tries to hook up with him, but Alex gets mad, and tells her that she's reading into things. Later, Beth's father has a heart attack at the wedding reception, and she ends up taking care of him with no help from any of the husbands that are also staying at the house. Janine tells Gigi about Ben cheating, and we see an anecdotal story from a woman who talks about all of her different husbands' affairs. Ben and Anna go to Ben's office to hook up again out of nowhere. Janine shows up, so Ben locks Anna in a closet and ends up hooking with Janine in his office. Anna listens to all the rough words before storming out of the office in anger. Once Janine leaves, Alex tries to have a meeting at work, but is flustered, and keeps checking his phone. She talks to him and makes him realize that he's fallen in love with Gigi. Anna goes back to Connor, and sleeps with him after agreeing to date him. Beth tries to get the husbands in the house to help her take care of her father, but they're all useless. However, Neil shows up, and does dishes, and buys groceries without even asking her. Janine goes home and finds a pack of cigarettes in Ben's pants. She then freaks out, and throws all of his clothes on the stairs, before leaving him a note that she wants a divorce. Beth goes to Neil's boat and tells him that she doesn't care about getting married, and wants to get back together with him. Anna breaks up with Connor after realizing that she isn't into him. Alex shows up at Gigi's door, and apologizes, and the two kiss. Mary and Connor meet at a restaurant for the first time, and hit it off. Neil proposes to Beth, and the two get married on Neil's boat. We then see home video style interviews with all of the different characters as they talk about how their lives have changed with their relationships, and the credits start to roll. In this way, movie ends here.